It was supposed to be another climactic day in the Diddy trial, but no one expected this. The courtroom was packed, its walls practically vibrating from the tension inside. Cameras clicked, pens scratched, and the scent of stale coffee mingled with anxiety. Journalists, celebrities, legal analysts, and curious observers had all gathered for what was promised to be the final chapter in one of the most chaotic, publicized trials the entertainment world had ever seen. But somewhere near the center of the room, almost hidden beneath layers of security, sunglasses, and a tightly tailored coat, sat a figure few expected to see there at all: Taylor Swift. America's pop princess, a woman who built an empire on vulnerability and poetic resilience, and yet here she was, drawn into the chaos not as a witness, not as an observer, but as a central figure in the trial's most explosive allegation. She was implicated, named, accused. Months earlier, no one could have imagined it. The headlines were supposed to be about Diddy, real name Sean Combs, a music mogul turned defendant in a sweeping federal case involving racketeering, media manipulation, and corporate corruption. But when the defense pivoted and dropped Taylor Swift's name as a co-conspirator, the public reeled. They said she'd used her media clout to steer public perception, allegedly in a bid to destroy Diddy's legacy. Taylor had stayed silent, calm, composed. She didn't comment, didn't tweet, didn't sing. But as she sat in court that day, hair pulled tightly back, eyes dark with fatigue, it was clear something in her was unraveling. The judge called the courtroom to order. Everyone rose. The chatter stopped. And that's when it happened. The verdict was about to be read. But this wasn't about Diddy anymore. It was about her. Miss Swift, the judge began, his voice cold and deliberate. You are hereby found guilty of participating in a conspiracy to manipulate public perception and obstructing ongoing legal investigations. A gasp. Audible. Tangible. Like someone had pulled the air from the room. Taylor's face didn't move, at first, but a tremor ran through her hands. She clutched the wooden bench so tightly her knuckles turned bone white. Behind her, her legal team scrambled, whispering furiously, flipping through binders of carefully curated rebuttals. It didn't matter now. The judge continued. You are sentenced to pay a $2 million fine and are barred from collaborating with any music executives or industry conglomerates for a period of 5 years. Silence. Deafening. Taylor blinked. Once, twice. And then the tears came. Not graceful, screen-ready tears. Not the kind her fans were used to seeing in award show speeches or heartbreak ballads. These were raw, panicked, gasping sobs. The kind that shake the soul. She stood too fast. Her knees buckled. She caught herself on the bench. This isn't fair, she screamed. It echoed. Louder than any chorus she'd ever sung. Her voice cracked, wild, disbelieving. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't. Her body shook as security inched closer. Her lawyer tried to touch her shoulder. She slapped his hand away. Diddy sat motionless across the courtroom, his expression unreadable. Some said guilt. Others said triumph. Flashbulbs exploded. The media had its moment, and Taylor Swift, one of the most composed women in show business, had just publicly unraveled. She was escorted out, her heels dragging on the marble floor as she cried openly, lips trembling, her body almost folding in on itself. Outside, the headlines hit like grenades. Taylor Swift guilty, meltdown in courtroom. Pop princess no more, Swift barred from music industry collabs. Diddy trial takes shocking turn, Swift sentenced. Back in her hotel room, hours later, Taylor collapsed onto the couch. The walls were silent, but her mind wasn't. The replay wouldn't stop. The gavel, the gas, her own voice cracking like glass. The image of Diddy, cold, expressionless. How did it come to this? She had spent her life carefully crafting her story. She was the underdog who rose, the girl who shook off the haters, the feminist icon, the self-made queen of confessional pop. But now her name was etched into legal documents under words like obstruction, conspiracy, influence peddling. Was it a smear campaign? A distraction tactic by Diddy's team? Had she really been involved in something deeper than she'd ever realized? Or had she been naive? Used? The media didn't wait for answers. Pundits filled hours of programming with speculation. Lawyers dissected her every courtroom expression, and social media, once her kingdom, turned on her. Hashtag #SwiftDown trended. Conspiracies exploded. Some fans refused to believe it. Others asked why she hadn't spoken up sooner. A few whispered what no one dared say publicly. Was the Taylor Swift we thought we knew real? The question hung in the air like fog over Los Angeles. Inside that courtroom, something cracked. Whether it was her reputation, the public's trust, or Taylor herself, something broke that day. And as the trial moved forward, one truth remained. The spotlight, once her crown, had become her prison.